The train to nowhere. Lucas liked trains. Every weekend, he visited the small station at the edge of his town. The station was old and quiet. Only a few trains passed each day. Most people preferred buses or cars, but Lucas loved the sound of trains, the smell of the tracks, and the feeling of movement. He often took pictures of the trains and collected tickets from old journeys. One Saturday morning, Lucas arrived at the station earlier than usual. The sky was gray and the air was cold. He walked along the platform and looked at the empty tracks. Suddenly, he noticed something strange. At the far end of the platform, there was a train he had never seen before. It was long and silver, with windows that shone like mirrors. The doors were open, but there were no people around. No workers, no passengers, no noise. The station was silent, except for the sound of the wind. Lucas felt curious. He stepped closer to the train. The carriages looked clean and new, but also old at the same time. The design was unusual, almost like something from another time. Without thinking too much, Lucas climbed inside. The train was empty. The seats were red and soft. The floor was shining, and the lights were on. Everything looked ready for passengers, but nobody was there. Lucas walked slowly through the carriage, listening to the sound of his own steps. He sat down near a window. Suddenly, the doors closed with a loud sound. The train started to move. Lucas jumped up, surprised. He looked outside, but the platform was already behind him. The train was leaving the station, even though no driver was visible. At first, Lucas felt nervous. He wanted to get out, but the doors stayed shut. Then, little by little, his fear changed to excitement. The train moved smoothly through the countryside. Fields, trees, and rivers passed by. The speed was not too fast, but steady and calm. Lucas looked carefully at the windows. The view outside was beautiful, but also strange. He saw houses with tall, thin chimneys, boats on wide rivers, and people working in fields with old tools. It did not look like his time. It looked like the past. The train continued for a long time. Lucas walked from one carriage to another. Every carriage was empty, but each had something different. One had paintings on the walls. Another had old maps on the tables. Another had shelves with books in languages Lucas did not understand. Finally, the train slowed down, stopped at a station Lucas had never seen before. The sign above the platform had letters he could not read. The place was quiet, and only a few birds flew in the sky. The doors opened. Lucas stepped outside. The station looked like it was from another century. The walls were stone, and the lamps were made of iron. A clock on the wall showed the wrong time. Lucas walked around, but there were no people. Everything was silent. After a short while, the train made a loud sound. The doors opened again, as if calling him back. Lucas felt that he should not stay too long. He returned to the carriage and sat down. The doors closed, and the train began to move again. This time, the journey felt shorter. The fields and rivers outside changed quickly. The strange houses and tools disappeared, replaced by modern roads and cars. Soon, Lucas saw his own town again. The train entered the small station and stopped exactly where he had first entered. The doors opened. Lucas stepped out. When he turned around to look at the train, it was gone. The tracks were empty. The platform was silent. Only the wind moved through the station. Lucas stood there, confused but also amazed. He had no ticket, no photo, and no proof that the silver train was real. But he knew what he had seen. He knew he had traveled somewhere unusual, somewhere outside of time. From that day on, Lucas returned to the station every weekend. He waited and watched, hoping to see the mysterious train again, but it never came. Still, he kept his secret adventure in his heart. The memory was enough to make every visit to the station special. He never told anyone about the train. It was his own story, his own mystery. And whenever he heard the sound of a train in the distance, he smiled, remembering the day he traveled to nowhere.